Hello, how are you? This is the second series we're starting this year. So we've released Possum Magic, the book series, the first one in the book series. This is the nursery rhyme one, and the next one will be, I'll quickly show you, the alphabet, numbers, and colours. So these will be released each week and we'll build on the educational benefits each week. So this week is 3 blind mice. I'm not singing it to you, but look at the little mice, aren't they cute? So we've got I didn't do a cover page because the rhyme is basically going to be your cover page for this one. I've got it in a J Burrows display folder. I just find they've got the thickest pages, especially when you're wiping clean. So when you're writing on it and then wiping clean or using paints or whatever else, they're nice and thick. So this one, we're going to be cutting out and laminating flashcards. I meant to print that twice, that one will go in there. With this one, they're going to be thumbprints. So we're going to stamp our thumbs over the top of the mice. Now we can do that in the plastic. I can just use paint and do it. Otherwise I can pull it out and use watercolor paints and then use a marker just to go, sorry, that wasn't even on camera there. A marker to go over the whiskers and eyes. This one's a counting activity as well. This one, we are going to cut and paste our mouse. So we've got a page here to keep it. And this one's a sensory activity. So I've encouraged you, you've got a few different ideas at the bottom to obviously pull it out and then do it. We're going to use, say, coloured rice on this one, cotton wool on this one, and I've got shaved wood for this one. Other ideas, paint, finger painting, coloured pasta, sand, puffy paint. So I've got the equal parts water, salt and flour there. Coffee granules would be a good one. I don't actually have any, otherwise I would have tried that. Crayons. There's a ton of different things you can use. But for this activity as well, which I'll go through and do it soon, actually having that discussion with your little one about the different textures, how they look, how they feel, sound even when they're like the coffee granules, shaking it in a jar versus the sand, I don't know, in the cup or the tray, however you have that. All right, so I've gone and pulled it all out. We've got the educational benefits here. I said in the last video, which you may not have seen, probably not, but these are all the educational benefits that I talk about in every video if you actually listen with the sound. This is the first time I've actually put them all together. So for each activity I have highlighted which educational benefits we're covering. Now there's a ton of them in here. This is by no means the end of the list. I'll probably a few weeks add some more in. But these are the ones we're covering in this particular pack. So we've got bilateral coordination and crossing the midline. So imagine you've got a line between your nose and your belly button. It's the right side of the body crossing over to the left. So crossing that middle line, and the left side crossing over to the right. So that's going to be your cutting activities, putting the mice together onto the pages. So the bilateral coordination is when you're using both hands together to complete a task. The crossing the midline is when you're actually crossing over. Yes, so those two go hand in hand. We've got cutting. Again, if you're working with a 2-year-old, you probably want to do the cutting for them, or maybe give them the simple shapes. On these ones, feel free to cut the whiskers off and then go add your own wool whiskers or whatever else, pipe cleaners. All right, what else have we got? Sensory play. So particularly on that last activity where we're colouring in the mice with different sensory elements. Did we have more in here? I think that was the main one for sensory. Creative play. So once we make up our little, I forgot to show you this one, our toilet roll mice. Now, you could make 3 mice. The thought of cutting all that out does my head in. I'm going to make 1 mouse. I'll do that later. But to then have that creative play, once you've got your little mouse to play with, you can play them along with the rhyme as well. So that is creative play covered. We've got vocabulary, so the sensory activity as well, talking about the different elements that you're using. So whether it's sand, cotton wool, and say paint, we could talk about the differences between them. So the cotton wool is really soft, the sand is really rough. So just adding those words to their vocabulary, yes? Of course, through all the other activities as well, but that one in particular, you can really, work on it. Following instructions. This one will depend on how old your little one is, but you can do following instructions. So you've got your instructions on all the printouts of how to put it together. You could do that with your little one. So can you please pick up the head, and we'll stick that on first. We then need to add 2 paws and put them on the left side and the right side of the toilet roll. So we've got that language in there, yeah? What else? Rhyming, obviously, because we've got the rhyme. Maths and numbers, so they're our flashcards at the beginning. We're only focusing on 1 to 3. If your little one is older, you can then build on that. But this is starting from 2-year-olds. So the pack's designed to start from 2-year-olds, and we build on the numbers as we go. Colours. Where did I bring in colours? Probably at the end for the mice ear. This will depend on what sensory elements you use as well. You can also bring in colours to this activity. I've put brown there. That's what I had in my head to start, but if you want to use your different colours, say the colours as you go ahead and do that. And attributes. So they are basically features. In like for this specific activity, again, it was the sensory one. So describing the different sensory elements. Yes, whether they're rough, smooth, shiny, wet, soft, hard. Yeah. Okay, that is that. I'm going to go cut out. I'm only going to do one mouse here, and I'm going to cut out this one because you don't need to watch me do that. And this one here, I'll be back in a sec. See ya. I'm back. I've got my little bits and pieces sorted out. So I've laminated these twice, then you only need to cut them once. So these are the flashcards. So in laminating them with a washable marker, you can write over the top. Now with our 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, even 4-year-olds, we don't want to be encouraging the pen and paper when there's a million other sensory ways that we can do it. So if they're happy to write, so my girl, basically after 4, they have the strength in their hands to be able to hold a pen correctly. Before that, they don't. But my girl at 2 loved tracing things, holding a pen, couldn't stop her, so just rolled with it. But we do encourage you to use chunkier pens, crayons, textures. These pens are really, paint's really good. They're IKEA. I think you get 7 for about $15. Much wider, yes? And they will hold it in their fists when they are younger. Again, they can wipe clean. You can just use your finger to trace over it if you want to. You can also carry these around the house and see what other things you can find. So environmental print, that is number 1, 2, or 3, so matches these. We've also got the dice here on the bottom, and then counting the actual number of mice on the cards. So that's what they're for. I'll put them up the top and get them out the way. This one we'll do first. So I've cut out my mouse pieces. We've got 1 head, 2 ears, 2 paws. I've called them paws and feet. So paws are the hands and the little mousy feet. Now for this activity as well, hang on, let's get all that out of the way. There's too much going on here. We need the glue though. So we've got a long, thin tail. So again, focusing on that language. We've got a oval, chubby body, 2 round circle ears, and these are sort of oval shaped hands, and we've got oval feet. So let's wipe that all off, and we'll start with the body. I've just raided my kids' pencil cases to get new glue. Mine was gross, and we've just gone into lockdown, so much for school starting today. There we go. So our little mouse goes here. Just make sure you leave room for the ears at the top. So we've got 1 ear. That can overlap, that's all right. 2 ears. There we go. Well, you can do it a bit neater than me. I'm just showing you how to put it together. We've got 1 long skinny tail. I'm going to end up with glue all over my fingers. There we go. So you can put that over the top or just tuck it in if it hasn't stuck yet to either side. So I've put the long skinny tail on the left side. Now I've mixed up my paws and feet. We've got 1 paw and 2 paws. And 1 foot. 2 feet. If you want to call them all feet, then we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 feet. There we go. There's our little mouse. That can go over there. I'll show you what it looks like when we put it all away in the folder. I can't remember what I said I was going to use. I listed a whole stack of things. So I've chosen to go with sand, the cotton wool, and the wood chips. So I'm going for more texture rather than colour. So my colours didn't vary too much here. We've got whites and browns. Ah, there's all that glue stuck to me. All right. So I'm just going to put a whole, am I going to go over his, I'm just going to go over his face. That's going to make it easier. We've done enough mice faces, I suppose, in the other activities to know what they look like. If you've got boggly eyes, you could add them, which I do actually, provided this goes to plan. Okay, so I've got glue on all three. I'm going to put cotton wool in the middle one. I probably only need one. Well, they really are blind now, aren't they? It's got no eyeballs. I put glue on that one already, so didn't think this through. Container. I'm just going to pour it on carefully and see if I can pour it back in to this. So we've definitely got a range of textures here, with the sand being grainy and rough. We've got the cotton wool that's white and soft and fluffy. Oh, look at that. And we're going to have a scruffy wood chip mouse on the end. I'm just going to put a bit more glue because I have a feeling these aren't going to stick very well. These were just from the craft $2 shop. Please stay on. There we go. If I push it down, it's definitely going to be scruffy. That'll do. And tip it in there. You can probably give him a bit of a trim or just push it onto the glue. That'll do. I'm just going to pause this because I'm pretty sure I've got boggle eyes somewhere. That'll make it cute. Hang on. All right, I'm back. I would encourage you as well to, you know, if you've got more materials or other ideas, don't do exactly what I've told you to do. You do have the option, if you're not a creative person, to do just what's on the instructions. But as with this, you know, as you go, you'll think of new things. So I'm not going to add, you know, ideas back into, well, you're going to see the, whoa, no, I don't want a yellow eye. Hang on, sorry. Can't do two things at once. There we go. So I haven't told you on the instructions, point being, to put the boggly eyes on. I've just thought of that as I've put the activity together, as I'm sure you will. Oh, look at him as well, with whatever you've got lying around the house. So I generally don't go out and, oh, he's so cute. Well, they're definitely not blind mice now. I tend to not go out and buy stuff for these activities. I try and use what we've got lying around. Now, these are more speechless mice than blind, but never mind. Aren't they cute? Oh, I like that. That turned out better than what I thought it would. I'm looking forward to doing photos now. All right, let's shift this out the way because I've got my toilet roll mouse. Now, I'm not cutting this out 3 times, and I doubt many of you will want to either, but you do have the option and everything there if you want to. My toilet rolls, for whatever reason, this brand has white stuff on them. I think it's just the glue that's soaked in. So I may paint it afterwards. So I'm going to stick on the head first. So this is an activity, even with the other one as well, where you can get your little one. Focus on that bilateral coordination as well. So we'll put the pieces over this side, and if your little one is right hand dominant, other side if they're not. And we're going to grab the head first and then the tail. So I've done a 2-step instruction there. It really doesn't matter what order you put it on. So I'm going to stick on his head, and the tail, I'm going to need glue first at the back. It may need reinforcing with sticky tape when it's dry. Oh, he's so cute. All right, this one's going to be a blind mouse as well. So I'm going to have to make sure his cheeks stick on, because we're going to grab this and stick that around. So I'm going to trim it first. Oh, I suppose it doesn't really, I'll trim that bit because it's got light on there. All right, so I'm going to put another bit of glue at the top here. Paste on one half, then put more glue. Wrap it around his eyes. These ones aren't little pirates. There we go. He's got his blindfold, and let's stick on his 4 feet. arms, legs, whatever you call it for a mouse. There we go. So I've got 4 blobs of glue. Well, I meant to have 4 blobs of glue. We've got the 2 paws at the front. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. Now, if you want to paint a belly on him, you can. I might just leave him as is, but he should sit up. I mean, you can't see that very well then. But if you do the 3 of them, you can do your 3 blind mice nursery rhyme and have your little characters to go along. All right, I am going to put all this back into the folder and then show you what it looks like. But have fun with these activities. They're not too bad. The cutting wasn't too bad. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope your little ones enjoy them. Talk to you in a sec. I just realised I forgot this one. I'm not going to follow my own instructions. By all means, go ahead and do it, which was just use to pull it out and use the paper and use watercolour paints. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to do a small blob first in his belly. And hopefully, I probably should have tried one first. I'm pretty sure it will work. By doing it in the display folder, it makes it wipe clean and a reusable activity. So you can focus on your colours for this one. So we could do it with red first. Another day during the week when we're focusing on a different colour, we could do it with blue or green or purple. Now, that didn't work. So I'm going to put a bigger blob of paint here. Can you see that? Because I know my thumbprint will fit there. And we'll try again. There we go. Oh, he's a fat little pink mouse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's kind of fun to do. So again, it's wipe clean. I might need a bit more than 1 paper towel, given how much paint I just put on there. But we've managed to bring colours and counting into this activity as well. All right, let me wipe that off. Okay, so from beginning to end, now that it's put together, we've got our nursery rhyme there, 3 blind mice. We've got our flashcards cut out. We've got the thumb printing activity. We've got our mouse that we've put together. The sensory mice here, which once you put them in the folder, you lose the sensory effect. So once you finish playing with it, then you can put it inside. And then we've got our educational benefits there. I hope you enjoyed that. I will talk to you soon with the next one. See ya.